Hello, so this is my relatively long-term review of the Time Xpresso 4 pedals. I've had these for almost 2 years, I think it's probably about 22 months, and they've done around about 6,000 kilometres. I bought them initially just as a bit of a change really. They're quite cheap, they're only 45 quid. And along with that, they weigh only 225 or 224 grams for the pair. So compared to some of the alternatives, they are, for the money, very, very light. I've been riding SPD SLs before these for 6 or 7 years, and before that, mountain bike, just the standard mountain bike SPDs. And I just thought I'd mix it up a little bit when I saw these on Wiggle at a incredibly low price, really. A couple of other features that they've got as well is what they call iClick technology. So what that basically means is that when you unclip from the pedal, this bit sort of comes down and it remains a little bit open, and it's only when you go to put your foot back into the pedal, it sort of automatically grabs your cleat. So I'll come back to that in a minute. They've lasted pretty well, to be honest. This body here is all plastic. This is plastic. This is plastic. The spring here is actually carbon fibre. But no, I was a little bit concerned that they might get bashed about a bit. But there's not really too many marks on there, and I haven't really cleaned it, as you can see. You just give them a quick squirt with the jet wash, but never actually had a clean, or I've never taken them down and re-greased anything. There's very few moving parts. There's no typical spring like you get in the other cleats. One of the other little features here is to change the tension in the spring mechanism. There are only 3 settings, but to be honest, 3 is more than enough. You just twist this little screw head here, and there's like a triangular barrel here, and that applies a different amount of pressure to that carbon blade there. So there's very little to go wrong with them, really. Also, they've got unbelievable amount of float in them. So if you've got dodgy knees, they're particularly good. You get plenty of swivel on the pedal. So by float, that is how much movement you have in that direction. So if you've got a dodgy knee or a dodgy stroke where your knee flicks out, that will help you not get an injury. You don't want to be sort of forcing your knee in the wrong direction. The cleats are, so that's the good stuff. That's probably at the end of the good stuff, to be honest. Now that there's a few things to moan about. The cleats are, well, they're massive. They are absolutely enormous, even compared to the Shimano SPD SL road cleats. You can see they're quite a bit longer. Allegedly that helps with power transfer, but it's probably negligible for mere mortals. And the other thing as well, they get really, really prone to getting mud in them. In particular, in this little bit in here, you've only got to stop to go for a wee and step in some grass or mud, or if you're going along a canal path, just put your foot down. Before you know it, that there is completely full of mud, and that stops your foot clicking in altogether. This little bit here is where clips into there. And I don't know if it's part of the mechanism which is holding the cleat open when your foot's not in it, but it's a bit crap, really. It doesn't take much, and then your foot is just not secure in there at all. And on that note, around not being secure, these just do not hold my foot as well as they did when I got them. I've put the tension and the screw in the tightest setting. And also, these are my 3rd set of cleats, and these ones aren't particularly old. They're only about 1,500 kilometres, maybe a little bit less. I think I changed them in January this year. And yeah, they just don't. My feet just don't feel quite as secure as they once did, especially when you're on the turbo or you're sprinting. You're trying to put out some big watts. Your feet just it's just not very reassuring. And also the cleats are expensive. These are a lot more expensive than the Shimano ones. I think these are about 15 quid, and I think you can pay a bit more than that. So they're a few quid more. They haven't they last reasonably well. I don't think they're any worse than the Shimano ones or Look ones, but it's just another thing to consider. So I don't know what's causing that about the my foot popping out. I don't know if the spring's lost some of its tension, maybe the body has warped a little bit or changed shape. It's not the cleats. And the left foot seems to be a bit worse as well. So they're not that old compared to some people. I haven't really used them that much. 6,000 kilometers in 2 years is, it's not a huge amount compared to what some people ride, some serious amateurs or club cyclists. So I probably would have expected a little bit better there, but there you go. They're only 45 quid as well, so take that into account as well. So overall, I probably would not recommend buying them. I bought them sort of on a whim, just to give them a crack. Nothing to lose. I'm going to be changing these for this summer, and I'm probably going to go either back to Shimano or try some Look ones, because I think the bikes at the velodrome are all running Look cleats. So I could just use these shoes at the velodrome as well. These do look cool. That's if you're a bit vain, and I certainly am a bit vain. I think they do look a bit different. So that might sway some people. But yeah, if I were you, I'd stick to the tried and tested pedals. There's no pro teams, not that I'm aware of anyway, riding these. So that could be a sign. Nearly all of the professional teams are riding Shimano or Look. I know there are a few riders riding Speed Play, but not many. So there we go. If you've got any questions, please comment below, and I'll do my best to get back to you.